A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 14, co-powered by Star Health Insurance. I'm Ritwika Gupta, and today we'll be taking a closer look at India's retail story. Now, India's retail sector is being shaped not just by consumption and scale, but also by a renewed appreciation for homegrown brands. At the heart of the story is Fabindia, and joining me to talk about this changing landscape is Ajay Kapoor, President Retail, Fabindia. Ajay, welcome to ET Now Leaders of Tomorrow.
Thank you, Ritwika. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So, Ajay, the theme for our show this season is Emerging Businesses, the India Advantage. When you hear of the phrase, the India Advantage, what does it mean to you as someone leading one of India's iconic retail brands?
So, the first thing which comes to my mind on the India Advantage story is the cultural heritage that we have and how we are actually matching it to the global aspirations. With the brand Fabindia, we have a history of 65 years, and we have seen that the bond towards the craft has actually grown leaps and bounds, and it still continues. As a brand, the effort is basically to match the cultural heritage that we carry with the global aspirations. India as a country is a country with a lot of entrepreneurial skills, a very young population which actually has a lot of aspirations, widely traveled, and they are actually looking for products which are sustainable, which are good, which are craft-led in the long run, and that probably gives us a big advantage. To further top it up, Make in India, Made in India makes the India Advantage story very distinct and very unique.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree. And just picking up from what you said, when we speak about India's handicrafts or artisanal traditions, we often look at it as heritage, which is by right, it is heritage. But today, if I ask you, can we also view them as economic assets?
They definitely are. In fact, the artisans that are actually based out of the rural areas, they are actually the economic assets, because not only they are creating rural livelihood, they are also self-sustainable.
Yeah.
So they have been doing it for a very long time, and probably today as a brand the responsibility is to see that how can actually we support this in a much better way, so that this tradition of economic asset, they being an economic asset, carries on. It becomes more interesting for the generations coming in the future to stay relevant to the craft that they are associated with. And yes, they are the people who are actually making us move, giving us ideas and giving us the designs.
Ajay, tell us, are you seeing a stronger demand for authentically Indian products and brands, rather than just globally inspired products?
So it is, as the customer is traveling more and more, they are actually getting used to, and they're learning more about the global aspirations, and to weave it with the cultural heritage that we have is what is actually required. So when you ask me a question that is this going to be relevant? Yes, it is definitely going to be relevant. How are we actually going to make it relevant is something that the brands will have to actually make the markets more accessible to these people. They will have to make more opportunities, and they will have to invest more in terms of making the people understand that how these crafts are actually going to take them in a long run.
Right. So Ajay, today we are here at the beautiful Fabindia store, and you have launched a new collection as well. Could you walk us through that? What is the vision behind it, inspiration behind it?
Well, Fabindia has always been into the ethnic as well as into the Western space. We have actually launched a label called Fables, which is basically an extension of our Western range that we are representing or that we are showcasing. Fables is basically a strategic initiative on the part of Fabindia to basically be a kind of a staple in the wardrobe for people who are wanting to not only look at the Western wear, but also look Western wear with a craft touch to it. As I mentioned in my earlier thing also, that the customer is traveling worldwide, they have global aspirations, and if they can get something which is globally relevant with a touch of craft, I think it makes all the difference. Fables, again, is a strategic initiative on our part. This is basically a more Western look to the brand. It has been rolled out in cities across the country. And as we are talking about international expansion also, we feel that having a Western label or a Western look to the brand will actually carry a lot of weight. We as a brand have been we have been known as an ethnic brand, and Fables is actually an effort to let the people and let the consumers also know that Fabindia has a Western face too. Right. And like I mentioned, that when we are actually venturing into the international markets, this is going to make a lot of difference. Yeah. In Fables, what we are doing is that we are not deviating in any way from the sign, from the cultural signature that from the craft signature that we have been known for. So we are actually making the best use of the craft signature that Fabindia is known for, with the textiles that are very unique to Fabindia, and making it in a form that it makes it very unique. Right. So there are a lot of Western options which will be available, but how to make it very different, how to make it very unique, is an effort on Fables, on the part of Fables. And this is not only restricted. This is not only restricted to one side of the consumer. This collection is available for the women customer. This is available for the male customer, and we only look forward at growing it up at a much faster pace.
Absolutely.
So Fables is basically an effort in that direction only, to expose the Western aspect, not only for the business customer, for the young generation, for everyone who is actually looking at a product which is more relevant in terms of craft as well as the textile that we are using.
Ajay, give us an overview of India's retail sector. What are some trends that you think will shape the future of retail?
Well, I would say experiential retail, because experiential retail is something which people are looking at. There is a lot of integration which is happening between physical and digital. We started experience centers in the way back in 2019-20, and the effort was basically to give a feel of experiential retail to the customers. Sure. In future, we believe that it is going to be more service driven. It is not only about coming to a store and shopping, but it is also about getting an experience, getting to know the product the way it is, the look and feel, the look and feel of the product by touching a product or by feeling the product in the store. So experiential retail and led by service is something which is going to drive the retail in future, and that is what, as a brand, we are focusing on.
Right. Ajay, Fabindia's story is also deeply rooted and deeply connected with the artisans community. And our show is watched by a lot of small business owners, MSMEs. I want to ask you, what's the kind of role do artisans, craft enterprises, smaller enterprises play in the growth story of Fabindia, as well as India's retail sector and the India story at large?
Well, in one simple sentence, if I have to say it, they are the nucleus. So we revolve around them. If they are not there, I don't think that we as a brand would. Yeah. And they would remain to be the nucleus in future also. As a brand, like I said, we remain committed to their development. We are working towards making and helping them make the product more commercial. There are new clusters which are actually getting worked on. And when you talk about MSMEs and the small enterprises, there have been a lot of changes in the recent past in the in the policies, etc. The effort, I think, as an industry that should be actually put in is that we should be able to create more opportunities for them. We should be able to make more markets for them, and we should also be actually helping them with more technology-driven initiatives, which is going to make the product better, which not only creates a relevance from the point of view of the Indian market, but also from the global market.
Sure. And what do you think are some of the challenges, the biggest challenges facing these, smaller enterprises, the craft enterprises that I'm talking about, and what needs to be done to, empower them?
Some of the challenges which we think that they are facing at the moment is basically the access to the markets. Again, I mean, like there are clusters which are very focused. For example, Banaras, if we talk about today, that's very focused, and there is a lot of industry input which is actually going in over there. But Banaras is just one example. There are many such clusters across the country where we will have different cultural heritages, where we'll have different types of art forms which can actually be converted into the business that we are actually looking at. So how do we actually get into these sectors? What is the kind of ownership that we can actually drive in over here? And what is the kind of inputs that we can actually give and help them to make it look better and make it look more commercial so that it can actually reach out to the markets is something which we feel is one of the biggest challenge, and the industry should work towards it.
Sure. Ajay, if I'm not wrong, you're also deeply involved in developing the Fabindia experience centers. So my question to you is slightly different. Why do you think a physical store and experience center matters today in this digital first world that we are living in?
So two things. Shopping is something which is very personal. I mean, like what you see on a digital screen is not what exactly you what you want to see actually. It's basically the look and feel of the product which actually makes a difference, and at times also actually gives you a direction as to what exactly are you going to buy, or influences your decision. Coming to the store, I mean, like when coming to the store gives you an overview of all the products that we as a brand are actually representing or showcasing. It is not only about apparel, it is also about the home decor, it is also about the furniture, it is also about the gift tables, it is also about the soft home, the beautiful bed linens and table linens, etc. that we do. I think shopping actually is a kind of a thing where you would actually want to experience it personally. As a brand, our brick and mortar is our bread and butter, you can say, because 90%, 85% of the business, 85 to 88% of the business actually comes in from the brick and mortar stores. Online is also going in the direction that we are actually aiming at. So physical retail will always remain relevant. And in the last few years, what we have seen is that there are online brands which have actually gone into offline, and there are offline brands which have gone into online. So it's a mix. It's a business dynamic which will keep evolving. But to us, I think physical retail will always remain important, because what you see actually physically is what makes a difference.
Sure. You mentioned international expansion. Which other markets are you looking at domestically and globally?
Well, interesting question. We have been present in the Middle East and in the Southeast Asia, Singapore, Malaysia, Dubai for a fairly long time. Last year, we actually expanded into Mauritius and Sri Lanka. The response has been excellent. Apart from that, in UK, we are going to go online. So we spoke about physical and digital. In UK, we are actually going the digital way. We are launching Fabindia.uk. In the next 15 to 20 days time. The site is under test. Once we get into the success story in the UK also is when we'll be looking at expansion in the form of physical retail in the country.
Right. Ajay, we spoke about the experience centers, but tell me, beyond shopping, what's the kind of experience would you like a customer to have, when they enter the store, in terms of your services especially?
So experiential retail with services. Now there are various kind of services which we are actually offering to our customers in the experience centers, and some of the stores which are not experience centers also. To name a few, there's a bespoke service which is available. So you can actually the customer can actually come to the store and order for a bespoke kurta, which is delivered at the place, at their residence in 7 to 10 days time. We are looking at a service, we are offering a service which is called Interior Design Studio. Now, Interior Design Studio is a service in which we are actually telling the customers as to how they can actually place the various products of Fabindia in their home. It's a proper service in which we not only go to their places, look at the measurements, we actually involve ourselves with the customer, taking suggestions as to what exactly do they want to see and how we actually convert that into a product that is available with us. There's some customization required. The customization is also possible. The third thing that we are actually talking about is basically service at home. There are many customers who are still not willing to come to the stores. So can we actually deliver it home? This is through the WhatsApp calling, or this is through sharing of products with them. People go to their homes and they service it. Fourth is basic alterations. I mean, like you come to a store, you're liking an outfit, but it is not actually fitting you. So what do? We have an alteration studio, which is there in the store, where we can actually make the garment alter for you in 15-20 minutes. This is a new category which has been launched, which is called semi-stitched. Now, semi-stitched is for, again, customers who are actually wanting to do gifting. They're wanting, or they want something which is very unique and they want it to be fitting, and the normal sizes which are available in the store is not actually going with them. So these are the various kind of services which are actually getting offered right now. We are talking about Fab One services, which is a gifting service in which we are taking corporate orders, institutional orders, and we are actually servicing them. So these are the various kind of services which are getting, and we keep evolving. I mean, like if something new comes up, definitely we'll be looking into it.
Fabulous. Ajay, I understand sustainability is one of the core principles of Fabindia. How do you view sustainability as a brand?
Well, I think as a brand, it is in our DNA, not only from the time we start procuring the fabric to making a garment which comes to the store to sell. It is also about the very minor things which we see in the store. For example, a coconut shell button which you see on a shirt or a kurta, a wooden hanger that you see which is not plastic, the wrap-up of gift items which is not done on a bubble wrap, but it is done in a paper mesh. So these are very small things which we have actually been taking care of, and ever since the regulations came, I think we were one of the first brands to actually jump into it and see and see that how we can actually ensure that the experience within the store also is sustainable and environmental friendly.
Fantastic. And finally, Ajay, as we're wrapping up this wonderful conversation, tell me, where do you see the biggest opportunities in India's retail sector? In fact, tell us, what is India's biggest opportunity in terms of how India can create a global advantage?
Well, I think we covered it up in the first questions. The cultural heritage that we have matched with the global aspirations is probably one of the biggest opportunities that we are actually sitting at. India as a country is not only a country which is actually following the global trends, but is also creating its own narrative. So that is very, very important. And there are many brands which are actually looking for expansion globally also. With the kind of products that we are actually offering at Fabindia, when we talk about sustainable, the conscious customer is actually looking at it. And the international presence is something which can actually throw a very big opportunity in the future, not only for Fabindia, but for some other relevant Indian brands also. And that's what we are actually looking forward to.
Fantastic. It was a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so much for your time, Ajay.
Thank you.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 14, co-powered by Star Health Insurance. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.